All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. I am doing a new sector here called Recent Runners, okay? Look, chasing a runner oftentimes can end up being like chasing the dragon, and it's a scary thing to do. You just can't catch that big bad boy, right? Obviously, you can see it here. Sometimes runners literally just keep running, and silly things happen, right? But for the most part, just make sure you know what you're buying before you get into it, okay? We're going to talk a lot more about the recent, don't get me wrong, but I am zoomed out for a reason for sure. So before I get into the details, let's just talk about what we're going to do, right? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. This is the first time I've drawn this. I've made this stock, so I'm going to be drawing some horizontal support and resistance lines. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, real quick, excuse me, if you can please like and subscribe, it does really well with the YouTube algorithms. Nonetheless, look, I sincerely appreciate you being here, and if you disagree with anything, please throw it in the comments, okay? I am not here to pretend I'm perfect and all-knowing, and I would much rather you correct me than watch my market go down, watch my money go down in the market, you know what I mean? So with that, let's get into it. Real quick, I am making this video during live hours. I have a busy afternoon coming up, so just quick FYI right there. Okay, so HKD, I zoomed out real quick because I often say it, and nothing, I can't find a better example of it. Look, I love red. Like, I love these strings, but the opposite is just as true. These strings of green can very quickly turn into strings of red, okay? And look, do I know why this went from whatever this number was to like 2,000 back to 7? Absolutely not at all. But I've said it so many times. Good things happen over the 8 moving average. Bad things happen under the 8 moving average. It gets even worse when you're under both the 8 and the 20. You know what I mean? So that really speaks to a lot of what this chart is, okay? So look, again, do I have any reason why this happened? Not at all, right? This obviously goes from, let's call it 950 all the way to 30. That's a beautiful day to say the least, right? But there are so many things that I talk about regularly here that hopefully you're now seeing before I'm even going to talk about them, right? So first and foremost, everything is going to revolve around that big move candle, okay? You need to do better than that big move candle before you can ever believe we're going to go up, okay? It definitely can happen, all right? And I'm going to zoom out to one more time. Look, sorry, I zoomed in too much, but I think you can still see it. Big move candle, fake out. Obviously, this bounces on the 8 and good things happen, but kind of ignoring the 8 moving average. Once it broke the big move candle, ooh, that was beautiful. Once it couldn't, look, it opens up here, but it definitely closes down here, right? That's why I always talk about let the day end, right? But yeah, it never got over that candle and it died. This one too, right? So I'm telling you, I promise you, nothing I'm saying is new or I made up, right? Like, these are in a lot of ways proven things, you know what I mean? Nothing's financial advice, nothing's guaranteed, but yeah, there's a couple basic things for sure that need to happen before your expectations could go a certain way, you know what I mean? So really just couldn't break this. Look, I know you break 3 lines, right? But I always say it, I need good confirmation. And clearly, this green gap up, green, immediately turns to red. And yeah, really quickly, these can turn into green, but they don't, because all we're doing is trading under the 8, under the 20. And I mean, I'm assuming, yeah, we don't even have a 200 moving average. We're under all 4 moving averages, which is actually the max that this one has. And look, I'm going to go on the weekly. Let me see it. I say it so many times. All-time lows is the worst place to have your money, because in the back of my head, once you lose all-time lows, there's easy another 20% drop behind it, and that's literally what we see here. You go from 10 to 8, and I mean a slow death, right? And it's an ugly thing. I would have put the candle right here, right? I would have put it under this one, but yeah, even at the top, right? This whole thing just overtakes that one, and then yeah, it never recovered. And I'm telling you, I know the RSI is 5. That's so low. Believe me, I know that. But no one's buying this stock, all right? This MACD is definitely in the negative. You know what I mean? There's only so much you can expect when you're under some key lines. You know what I mean? I'll set an alert. Look, I wouldn't touch this thing until we broke this 1003. I'll set the alert at 1006, not 10.6. Give me a little bit over that 1003 line. Why? Like, again, that's like I just said, 20% profit, a little more than 20% profit, right? That I'm literally willing to just throw away, right? I would much rather trade above and what I would consider easy, because look, I would assume that's going to move from 10 whatever to that, to the bottom of that, because there's so many strings of red, right? I could maybe even move my line up to here. Hopefully 1070 is not that hard. 1080 isn't that hard of a resistance. But yeah, the expectation would be 10 to 16, which really is a bigger profit, I think, than between 8 and 10. And again, nothing's guaranteed, right? But this should be easier trading with what should be just one moving average in the way. And that'll probably match to the top of that at some point too, right? So yeah, that's really where I'm at. And look, I can't draw any other lower lines, right? At this point, we're going down into a deep black hole of pain until, for whatever reason, the stock decides to do something else. And I promise you, the last thing I'm here to do is guess how low it can go. All I'm here to do is get out of the way, not put my money in this thing. You know what I mean? So this is HKD. The other one is MEGL. It seems like MEGL and HKD were like synonymous a little bit. I always kind of saw them, people mention them both together, right? And look, super easy technical to see, right? This 100 moving average completely stops it. It stops this first run. It stops this attempt at a continuation. And where are we at now? We're under all the moving averages, right? I know it seems like there's no logic to a lot of these. And look, in my opinion, there's no logic to this beginning, okay? But there are rules to see what could happen next, all right? So if there's anything you take from this series, it really is that, you know what I mean? Let me just zoom out a little bit to see, because again, I don't know this stock too much. Okay, interesting, for sure. All right, let me just draw a couple lines from the past. I probably should have done this on HKD as well. Okay, we didn't hit that. Did we hit that? Oh, we didn't even hit that. Dang. So I'm assuming we hit that. Okay, that makes sense. So look, what was I looking for? I was looking for the plateau in between this basic, just super downtrend, right? That's essentially what I was looking for. The next one would have obviously been somewhere around here, right? And you can see that's actually kind of where this one dies. Again, my more focus was definitely on that 100 moving average. The 100 moving average stopped it. But yeah, I was a little curious. And again, we did make that $3 line from that right there, right? But one more time, what am I seeing? Look, this green is quickly, literally from like right there, right, is quickly turning into red. And if we lose this line right here at 163, there's for sure a lot of reason to believe we're coming basically here, okay? I'll even go, yeah, let's put it on that candle at 131, okay? What's after 131? Let me look at the weekly. Oh man, yeah, that's all-time lows after. You know, it sucks, right? Because this right here is a good technical analysis reading right here when a lower one goes over a big one. That's a golden cross. I for sure don't care about that. I am completely ignoring that. This is not a bullish signal at all. I promise you that, okay? What am I looking at? I'm looking at losing both moving averages and then a couple more lines down, right? And we're basically we're actually a little below 50% candle too on this big green one, right? So a lot of things really are screaming 131 on this bad boy. So Again, a lot of monstrous things would have happened. I'll say it. I'm a little surprised after this one. Like, would I necessarily call this a doji? I don't know if I'd call it a doji, but that's a silly wick. We can at least agree there, I hope, right? Someone definitely bought at like 3 something only to watch it close at 270, right? That sucks. So this definitely isn't a doji. It's not super tight. It's definitely not this textbook one. But yeah, that's not a good confirmation candle, especially if you're gonna break. Like if you're gonna get this technically breaks 3. This gaps up the 8, gaps up the 20, and breaks the 50. Right. So. Yeah, a couple extra things right there. But hey, look, one more time, if you disagree with anything I got to say, please let me know. Otherwise, I sincerely appreciate your time. Thank you so much.